If you think you've done everything you can possibly do to your Google Business Profile and it's still not ranking in the top 3 or the map pack, I'm going to show you today how to evaluate your page to see if you really have done everything, and then also show you the top 3 factors that I've seen move businesses from not ranking to ranking in the top 3. So to keep things as practical as possible, I'm going to do a live search and we're going to look at actual businesses that come up for this search and try to figure out why they're ranking the way they're ranking. So our search today is just going to be custom cabinets. And if I scroll down, you'll see there are 3 companies that come up: HCR Cabinets, Alabama Cabinet Company, and All About Kitchen Cabinets. And if you look over at the map, you can see that HCR is down here to the south. You've got Alabama Cabinet Company, which is up in the north in the downtown Birmingham area. And then you have the All About Kitchen Cabinets, which is also back in the south. Now, these are in proximity to my search location, which is over here. So I'm probably 45 minutes from the downtown area, probably about 30 minutes from these locations. So these are not really close to me, but they're the best options that Google has determined to display to me for this search. Now you'll notice up here, this Quartersawn Cabinets is a little bit closer to me, and so I'm curious as to why Google is not showing that listing. So what I'm going to do is hit more places so we can see the 4th, 5th, 6th ranking and such. So the first 2 that pop up here are sponsored, and then we get back to the top 3 again. This is what was displayed on the previous page. Now, when we look at this company, I've already done a little bit of research here. This Cabinetry Refinishing Enterprises is not actually a cabinet maker, and I'll show you why. Now, they do make cabinets, but that's a secondary thing. If I click on this listing, you'll notice what pops up. It shows that they are a kitchen remodeler. Now, the reason that they're showing for this search is because they have a secondary category of a cabinet maker. In their Google business listing, they've got that category chosen as a secondary category. So their presence is so strong that they're actually ranking number 4 for a secondary category, which is actually pretty impressive. But we're not going to look at them because they're not a direct competitor. In other words, their category is not the same as, let's go up to HCR Cabinets. See, their primary category is cabinet maker. If we look at Alabama Cabinet Company, primary category, also cabinet maker. And then All About Kitchen Cabinets is actually a cabinet store. So it's interesting to look at these primary categories. And that's the first thing you need to evaluate. When you're trying to rank for a specific search term, you need to make sure that the category you've got your business listed in, your primary category, is most relevant for those search terms. And if you're competing with other companies and they're listed in different categories and your categories don't match theirs, it's going to be really difficult to compete with them in the map pack. So that's always a big thing to check when you evaluate why your page, why your listing is not ranking in the top 3. So we're going to move down the list here and look at this Quartersawn Custom Cabinetry, try to figure out why they're not ranking in the top 3, since they're actually a little bit closer to me than some of these other businesses. So the first thing that I see is that the reviews are kind of low. There's only 1 5-star review. Compare that to 25, 57, and 54 of the top 3. When I click on this, I want to look to see that everything is complete in the profile, and it certainly seems to be. The address, hours, phone number is always something you want to list. You really just want to complete the profile as much as you can. There's Q&As here that should be completed. It doesn't look like this business has a description, which is something that should be created, and there don't appear to be any new updates. There's only 11 photos here. So if we look at HCR Cabinets, they have 122 photos. They have a website link. Of course, we've already looked at the reviews a little bit. They have address, area served, hours, phone number. They do have some questions in here, which is nice. We always want to make sure you answer these questions. I would just say go ahead and put in your top 10 most common questions and go ahead and answer them. You can post them and answer them as the profile owner. That's fine. They do have a very short description. You get 750 characters here, so I would use those. It is a little bit surprising that their profile is ranking where it is, with this description not more complete. But they do have a lot of other things going for them, like the reviews and of course the images, and they're doing pretty well there. Now, Alabama Cabinet Company, if we look at them, they have 25 pictures, which is less. They do have a website link, address, hours, phone number, a few questions here. Let's see what they have. See, those are old, 2 years ago. Probably not best. It'd be good if you could get some more recent questions there. I don't see a description here at all, which is surprising for a company that's ranking in the top 3 like this. You would expect them to have a description. But all about kitchen cabinets now, 22 photos, website, location, address, hours, phone number, all that's good. And then they actually filled out the products. Now, this is really helpful, especially if you sell products, to go ahead and add products in there. But you can get kind of creative here. If you have repeatable, process-driven services that you could also put in as a product, that might be helpful for you as well. Again, anything you can do to complete the profile. There's one question here. I think that could be built out a little more. And there is a little bit better of a description here. So those are the things that we're looking for. And so the very first thing I would say to Quarterson here, and the first thing that I would recommend to you if you're having difficulty ranking your Google Business Profile in the top 3, is to complete the profile. And don't just halfway do it. Like, really pour a lot of time and effort into completing this profile. And specifically what you want to do, and what I would recommend to Quarterson here, is to match what their competitors are doing. So when we look up here in these listings, we see HCR Cabinets has 122 photos. Well, I would go ahead and recommend to Quarterson, put 100 photos in there. Get really close to the number of images. Now, don't do it all on the same day. Do 10 a week or something over time. And that will show Google that you're using the platform, which is very important. And it'll also, update it to match their competitor. Same thing, I would say, make sure that they fill in the Q&As. That's going to have a very small impact, but again, all of this stuff adds up, right? We definitely want to put in a description here. Not going to have a massive impact, but is still going to be helpful overall. This is a comprehensive approach. Fill out anything and everything you can on the Google Business Profile and update it regularly. And so you want to try to match the competitors or beat the competitors in as much as is possible. Now, that brings us to the second thing, and that is reviews. Obviously, reviews are incredibly important. Reviews will move you up in the rankings more than any other single factor. And so getting the reviews, you don't have a lot of control over it. All you can really do is ask, and ask a lot. Make asking for reviews part of your sales process. So when you have a happy, satisfied, smiling customer in front of you, ask for the review. There are a lot of fun little tools out there, like this Google Reviews stand that you can use. You can get one of these created for $50, set it on your counter in your office, and then just ask people to scan the QR code and leave you a positive review. You can go a little cheaper than that with items like this on Amazon. These are just little cardboard cutouts. Buy a dozen of them, put them everywhere in your office. Have them where you make it very easy for people to scan that QR code. If you don't want to go that far, you can just print it out, on a piece of paper, hang it on the wall. Do something to encourage people to leave reviews. Put this QR code or some kind of link in your emails. Put the QR code on your business card. Make it easy for people to ask for them often. That's going to be a big part of improving your Google Business Profile. Now, I do want you to notice that reviews aren't everything, right? Remember, this is a comprehensive thing. So completing the profile and doing Google reviews, that adds up, right? So if you look at this, you'll see they have 54, they have 57. Well, 57 is obviously more than 54. They're not ranking number 1, but look at the quality here. They have 5-star reviews. Theirs are 4.4. That does make a massive difference. Even if they had 200 4.4 star reviews, they're still probably not going to beat 54 5-star reviews. So you really want to try to get the highest ranking you can. And again, not totally within your control, but definitely something you need to push. Now, if you do get negative reviews, sometimes you can appeal those reviews. I've even had clients that somebody left them a negative review and it was the wrong business. So you can certainly appeal those to Google. There's an appeal process. But in general, Google doesn't like to take down negative reviews. So you need to learn to respond to those negative reviews in positive ways. And a positive response to a negative review can say a lot to a potential customer. Now, it's probably not going to impact your rankings, but it definitely can help you get leads if people take the time and read through those reviews. The best way to deal with negative reviews, though, is to bury them with positive reviews. So the other thing I want to show you here is this Cabinetry Refinishing Enterprise. It has 164 5-star reviews. And so you may wonder, well, why are they not ranking in the top 3? Well, remember, their primary category is kitchen remodeler. Now, they do rank in the top 3 for kitchen remodeling, but they're not going to rank in as a cabinet maker simply because it's not their primary category. So again, important to think through what your category is. That is all a part of completing your Google Business Profile. Now, obviously for Quartersawn, they've got a lot of work to do. They need to get at least 20 or 25 more reviews to be competitive with these in the top 3. And so that brings us to the third factor that's really going to improve your Google Business ranking. And it's kind of a controversial thing, because it has less to do with what's on your Google Business Profile and what's on your website. Your website actually has a massive impact on your Google Business listing, and I'll show you why. If we go to HCR Cabinets and we click on their website, you'll notice this is a very simple site. There's not much to it. There's a lot of images here. They could do a lot of work here, honestly, but what they have done well is they've optimized their SEO title and their SEO description. Now, this is a little extension in Google Chrome called Detailed. It's a quick way to see what titles and descriptions are. So what I would recommend to Quartersawn is to make sure that their title and their description mimics this title and description for HCR Cabinets. This is pretty well laid out. Now, compare that to Alabama Cabinet Company. If we go to their website, the first thing you'll notice is that their website is really built out very well. There's a lot here. There's a lot of content here, a lot for Google to index and understand what this site really is about. In addition, they've done a good job on the title and the description. The description is just a little bit long, but not too bad. They've done a great job explaining who they are, what they do in the title and description. And so that, in combination with the fact that their site is very well built out, their site has a lot of content for Google to index and understand what their company is about, that's why they're ranking where they are. They're in the number 2 spot, even though they're a lot further away from me than these other 2 companies. The difference is, all other things being equal, their website is just far better than these others in the top 3. The same goes for All About Kitchen Cabinets. If we go to their website, now theirs is a little more store-oriented, but you'll see their site is painfully simple, right? And which is not a bad thing in general, but there's just not a lot here for Google to index and understand what this company is really about. And so again, they've done an okay job here, but they really need to complete the title and need to complete this description a little more. If they'd spend a little more time on their homepage content, on this title and on this SEO description, then I think they would probably rank higher simply for changing those things. Now, let me be clear about this. The on-page optimization of your website doesn't tell the whole story, all right? There's another component to your website that you need to pay attention to, and that is website authority. Now, this is a tool that we use called Ubersuggest. There's a lot of tools out there that'll do this, but what I'm doing is trying to find what the website authority is for Alabama Cabinet Co. And notice the domain authority is an 18. Now, that's not a great domain authority, but it's better than the others in this list. As you'll see, HCR Cabinets has a 13 domain authority. All About Kitchen Cabinets has an 8 domain authority. And QS Custom has a 1 domain authority. Now, taking all of those things into consideration, when we look back at the Google business listing, Alabama Cabinet Company really should not be ranking here because they're not very close to me. However, their website is great. Their domain authority is an 18, which is the highest of the three and the four, the Quarterstone that we're looking at. And so it's pretty obvious that the reason they're ranking number 2 instead of down further on the list because of their proximity to my search is simply because their domain authority is higher than these other websites. Now, if Alabama Cabinet Company were to improve their domain authority even more or further optimize their website, I think they would rise even higher. Certainly, we could say that with Quarterstone Custom Cabinets. Now, if they were to complete their profile, improve their reviews, and then optimize their website for search, and then improve their authority by getting some backlinks and press releases and promoting their company a little more on the internet, if they could get their domain authority up to even a 10 or a 12, which is pretty simple to do, they definitely would rank better than their ranking. And so that brings up a question, is how optimized does a website really need to be in order to move the Google business listing up in rankings? Now, we kind of know what the domain authority needs to be for those competitors. So we can build backlinks, we can do some promotion locally and improve the domain authority. But what do we actually need to do on the website? And so we created a 75-point checklist that we use for our clients, and I explain how to use that checklist and how to get access to that checklist in this video.